Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Joe Levy experiment. To realize. All right, so you guys probably all saw the news, right? There's a big documentary out right now called Quiet on Set, and it is exposing all the Nickelodeon shows for having creepy people and pedophiles and butt rape, all the stuff that Nickelodeon is known for. And I figured, well, everyone's talking about the bad part of Nickelodeon. Oh, this guy was molested, this girl was inappropriately touched, which we should talk about. It is an important issue, and I'm happy people are shining a spotlight in it. I want to go back to the glory days and talk about the good parts of Nickelodeon, all right? I want to talk about what the butt rape was for, what the molestation was for. All right, that stuff was horrible, it was bad, and I'm really sad that it happened. But we also got some good shows. So if we don't talk about the good shows, it's like all that stuff happened for no reason. So I'm going to be talking about the good parts, the top 7 best Nickelodeon shows of all time. That's going to be the list, the 7 best Nickelodeon shows of all time. That way, even though Drake Bell had to take a little wee-wee up his pee-pee hole or his doo-doo hole, we still got some good entertainment. We still got some joy, and we still laughed along the way, which is all that matters. Side note, I will not be watching the Quiet on Set documentary because I don't want to see that stuff. Personally, I don't want to see that, okay? I grew up on these shows, so it would make me sad to see that, okay? It's like watching the Quiet on Set documentary would be if you go to your favorite restaurant and you see the rats running around the stove, pooping in the little pan, taking a pee-pee in the soup. I don't want to see that. I want to eat my pee-pee soup and not know it's pee-pee soup. So I'm just going to sit back. I'm going to relax. I'm going to enjoy the show, and I'll let you guys tell me, oh, there's a rat back there peeing in the soup. Okay, I know there's a rat back there peeing in the soup. It still tastes good, okay? Jesus. Side note. Okay, let's actually jump into it. So, top 7 Nickelodeon shows. I have these 7 down so far. I'm not sure what the ranking will be. I guess we'll make up the ranking as we go along, okay? It kind of hits a little different now, that song, now that you know that Drake Bell got, butt fucked, it's like, you gotta take some time. Yeah, you gotta take some time. It's not an easy process putting your penis in someone's butt. It takes a little time. You gotta realize, you gotta roll your eyes. It's a whole thing. So the song actually makes sense more now in retrospect, which is pretty cool. Okay, we're gonna have 2 honorable mentions. Okay, first honorable mention will be the Rugrats show. Now, I actually think Rugrats is probably a better show than majority of these shows I'm going to list. However, I'm not a 90s kid, right? I was born in 2001, and I feel like it would be cultural appropriation to say, oh, the Rugrats is great, I love the Rugrats. No, I remember seeing it as a kid, and honestly understanding it was good, but not fully appreciating the genius. So I'm not going to be like one of these guys. I think it's actually a better show than most of these shows, but I know at the time, it wasn't for me, essentially. It was made for, like, my older sister and my other sister. And I'd be lying if I said I got a lot of joy from that show. I remember the movie, they were in, like, a car crash, something like that. I'm not exactly sure, but the Rugrats is a great show. Okay, number 2 honorable mention is going to be Victorious. Okay, now, keep in mind, this list and things you like in general are based upon when you were born as a child and kind of when you saw them and kind of the imprint it had in you. So it's not strictly about the quality of show, but it's about the emotional impact it left on you. So Victorious was probably maybe the last Nickelodeon show I think I actually watched. I would say so. And Victorious, it was just a hornier and sluttier version of iCarly. You know what I mean? Like, iCarly was the more innocent, or we thought innocent at the time, show. And Victorious was like, yeah, we're going off to college, baby. It was more, or high school. It was more of a, and honestly, it kind of turned me off a little bit. I was like, I want to watch a good show with good family values. And Victoria's just coming out there, looking all fucking like this. And then her sister is like, blah, 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 the dumb bimbo girl. And it was funny. And they have like the black comic relief character. And they have the Jew guy with the puppet. It did its role. But overall, I think the story sometimes was a little contrived. The characters were more one-dimensional. And the plot lines were, they had that one good plot line, Victorious, where the G got a black eye. Remember that? Where basically, for those who don't remember, they were doing a stunt, right? So, okay, we're going to do a stunt. We're going to fake hit you, because it was a drama school. It was an art school. It was like one of those schools where they make like macaroni necklaces, but you're in like college, So they were doing a stunt in Victorious, and they were going to do a fake slap. You're going to be a stuntman, we're teach you how to do a fake slap. And then I think someone hit this G, and then she's like, oh my God, you actually hit me. And then she comes back, and she had a black eye. And everyone's like, oh my God. And they felt so bad for her. And it was like they started like signing her eye, like she had a cast on, and like, oh my God, we feel so bad. And she got all this attention, blah, blah, blah. Turns out it was a fake black eye. She used her stunt makeup to put a little makeup on, and that was she got attention. It was like if someone fake cut their wrist. You know, it's like when someone cuts their wrist this way instead of this way. Okay. So that was the one interesting plot line I remember. I also remember there was an episode where Kat was in a bathing suit and she was getting shot with water guns. Everyone was shooting her with water guns. And honestly, even as a kid, at the time, I was like, you know what? This is a little much. I should not be seeing this. And that was the first alarm bell that went off in my head. Like, you know what? Maybe this Nickelodeon is up to no good. Because I was like, while I am happy to see Kat being sprayed with water guns in her skimpy bikini as a 12-year-old boy, I was like, this seems a bit inappropriate. And it started, I was like, I should not be seeing this. This should be on Teen Nick. This should be on Degrassi. This shouldn't be on Victorious. You know, so those two episodes stand out the most as the best one. Again, it is a good show. I'm just going to say honorable mention, probably because I saw it when I was a little older compared to when I saw these other shows. Okay, so let's get into it. Now I got to see top 7 shows. Okay, speaking of, we're going to fit the theme. Okay, a lot of these are cartoons as well. I'm going to say number 7 is actually going to be iCarly. Okay. Let me see. No, number 7, Drake and Josh. No, not iCarly. Drake and Josh is better than iCarly, I would say. Okay, so iCarly is number 7. Now we'll go over the good and the bad. And again, I'm not going to focus on the bad stuff, the creepy stuff. This is a positive Nickelodeon video. This could be one of the few videos on the internet showing the good side of Nickelodeon, because I still appreciate the childhood memories that they gave me. So everyone else is saying, oh, Nickelodeon's bad, this guy's a creep, this guy's a pedophile. Well, they are. I'm going to tell you the good stuff. The good stuff. Okay. Jesus. Okay, so. Okay. All right. So what I liked about iCarly is that it was on the cutting edge of technology, and it really took advantage of the platform itself and the plot line itself, right? So the show was about these two girls making a web show, which was kind of new at the time. And then they brought in Fred. When they brought in Fred, it showed you, oh, these guys are actually really with it. They're with the times, and they're going to use the meta of the time to their advantage. So I really appreciated how it was on a cutting edge, and it showed these people on the grind. It was like watching a YouTube documentary, you know? Side note, I used to be a big fan of H3 before he went crazy and became a pathetic, man, a shell of himself. I wrote him an email. I was like, yo, you should make a fucking Curb Your Enthusiasm style show about the YouTubers, right? Because you know how Curb is like Curb in real life. It's about Larry David in real life. I emailed H3. I'm like, yo, you should make a show where it's like you and you're making your YouTube videos and you go to iDubbbz' house and you go to Filthy Frank's house and you guys have a little sketch comedy thing going on. I thought it actually would have been a really good idea, and I probably would have made millions of dollars and still kept them relevant and funny and more successful. But no, just don't answer my email. As a fan, I'm giving you this $1 billion idea. No, just ignore me. Okay, and that's why he fell off. Because he didn't answer to me, that's why he fell off. Okay. It makes no sense. Okay, so iCarly it was good writing. The parents weren't there. It made it interesting. A lot of shows that parents aren't there in Disney, but, interesting dynamic. The brother, a bit much. I was a little older at that point. The whole Spencer thing was a bit much. Oh, he's the crazy guy. It's like we saw you do that in Drake and Josh. So it was a bit annoying, but the will they, won't they relationship was good. Sam was a very funny character. Freddie was good. Gibby, top tier character of all time. Gibby taking his shirt off is probably... He's the reason Bert Kreischer takes his shirt off. You know about the comedian Bert Kreischer? He's just doing Gibby. Bert Kreischer is just Gibby, but instead of being cool, he's weird, So Bert Kreischer, when you watch this, you should thank Gibby for your career. Okay. That's Zoey one. That's iCarly, right? So it was okay, that's iCarly. So it was basically, I liked how it was modern. I liked the characters in the show. I think a little more 3-dimensional than the characters in Victorious. I think the characters in iCarly were more 3-dimensional. The Will They Won't They was good. The movie was very good because it had the idea of, oh, there's a stalker now who's a fan again, a little ahead of its time, to be honest. I think iCarly was ahead of its time. Okay. Now, the show that iCarly and a lot of these shows owe their success to is going to be Zoey 101. Zoey 101 is a big reason why a lot of kids in America have implanted the idea of the college experience in their head. Zoey 101 it perpetuated the college military industrial complex, and I don't mean military industrial complex, I mean the college education scheme. Okay, Zoey 101, I gotta start working out again, Jesus. Zoey 101 is a big reason why a lot of kids now are sold on the whole college experience, because they watch Zoey 101 in college, hanging out with her friends, getting pregnant, having a boyfriend here, having another boyfriend here, getting into fights, and it implanted the idea in their head about, oh yeah, you know, we gotta go to college and be little whores, you know, as they should, you know, do what you want to do. Okay. Also, I think a lot of these shows had good ideas, like we had BattleBots. There was a BattleBot episode in Zoey 101 before BattleBots was even a thing. Crazy. Very sad ending though. I think they no longer become friends and she moves away, and I don't know, Zoey 101 really hit the feels. And then there's a last episode and they go to the beach, and then I don't know, it was very sad. I feel like it brought a lot of emotions out of me, you know? I like the title, Zoey 101, because she's in a room 101. It's pretty funny. It's like this sweet life. It was like the Zoey 101 was like the Zach and Cody of Nickelodeon, you know, because like, oh, they're on this boat, or they're in this hotel, they're in this private area. Well, okay, yeah, maybe I'll do a show episode about the Disney channels as well. Okay, so we have iCarly, Zoey 101. And now let's go to Okay, so all the last 4 shows are gonna be animated shows, because I like animated shows more personally. Okay, Drake and Josh. Okay, this was the show that started it all. Drake and Josh had really good adult writing. It had a menace, Megan, one of the best characters of all time. Megan was a great character, and honestly, I would have loved to see the actress play more mean roles, because I feel like the girl who plays iCarly, we know her now for being the sweet, innocent girl. Probably fuck, you know, that girl who, like, she cursed, was a big deal, but, like, really, she's a menace. She's a diabolical villain, you know what I mean? And I'm not saying this in real life, because I know she's been through a lot, but, like, I don't like now how the girl who plays iCarly, let me find her an actress name. iCarly girl, what her actress. I Google things like an old person. Okay. Interesting. So if you search iCarly girl, the first actress that comes up is Jeanette McCarthy. Huh. I would think it would be the other G that comes up first. You see her, it's her, then her. Okay. See, I still see... Wait, Emily Ratajkowski was in iCarly? Oh, no, she was Gibby's girlfriend. Okay. Again, Gibby's a legend. Okay. I still see Miranda Cosgrove as an evil, schemy, manipulative monster. Like I see all my sisters. So the fact that she's completely rebranded herself as this cute little Miranda Cosgrove girl shows what a good actress she is, honestly. Because... to me, she's the devil. To me, Miranda Cosgrove, I see all my sister's evil spirits embodied in Megan. So it's hard for me to put past that and see her as a regular Miranda Cosgrove, happy little dootsy girl. You know what I mean? Okay. So iCarly was good because the characters were great. It was ahead of its time. Wait, I'm talking about Zoey 101, right? Wait, what show am I even talking about? Fucking... Oh, Drake and Josh. Oh, yeah. So Drake and Josh was good because the characters were great. It dealt with complex issues like the parents going through divorce and having to deal with a new stepbrother. And, you know, one guy's always cooler than the other. And by the way, I don't like fucking Josh Peck and his whole new I'm the really cool guy thing. You know, it's a big theme of this channel. I don't like people who aren't cool and are weird and are trying to put on this whole persona. So Josh... he got so probably humiliated on Drake and Josh for being the fat little schlub guy. He had to completely go rebrand and hang out with now, you know, Predator David Dobrik and now pretend you're the cool guy. No, you're fucking like Jonah Hill. Jonah Hill actually seamlessly rebranded into a cool guy. If you want to go from a weird guy to a cool guy, Jonah Hill did it. But Josh, now he's just some slimy vlogger. Ha ha ha, we're in LA and we're going to date rape people and put it on the vlog. You know, it's just like slimy and it's ugly. You should have leaned in to being the fat guy, comic relief, stupid butthead guy that you really are. That's what you got to do, okay? But no, he wanted to be all cool and now call out Drake for being a predator because she was always secretly jealous of Drake for getting the girls and being cooler than him, even though he was also a weird guy. So they're both weird guys. You know, you can't believe the guy like Drake who pretends to be this cool guy, blah, 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 because he's also weird. And you can't believe the weird guy who's pretending to be the cool guy. You can't trust anyone. There's no one you can trust. They're all predators. But they made me laugh a lot. Actually, the first time a girl ever invited me over to her house, I was watching the Drake and Josh movie. They're trying to make counterfeit money. And then this girl called me. She called my mom, you know, at the time. This will kind of give you a peek into my life, you know, how I kind of roll, right? She called my mom, not even in a sexual way, just she wanted to hang out as friends, you know? And she's like, oh, could Joe come over? Because she lived down the block. And I was like, tell her I'll come over when I'm done watching the Drake and Josh movie, you know? Even as a kid, I knew you got to make them wait, you know? And then I watched the Drake and Josh movie, and I went to her house, and we didn't even talk at her house, but whatever, it was a fun time. Shout out, you know who you are. Maybe you don't even know who you are. It was a big deal for me. Maybe it wasn't a big deal for you. You don't want the people to see you vape on camera. It's embarrassing, so you got to do it off screen. Okay, so we had iCarly, Zoey 101, Drake and Josh. Okay, I'm having a dilemma now whether I should put Danny Phantom or Fairly OddParents next. I'm going to say Danny Phantom. I think Fairly OddParents is a better show than... Yeah, so, okay, we're going to go Danny Phantom. I was not allowed to watch Danny Phantom because it was deemed inappropriate. So it was one of those shows I had to, like, sneak away and kind of watch in secret. But Danny Phantom was cool. It had sexy cartoon ladies, like the original anime fucking, like... Danny Phantom was the first cartoon I got horny for, I'd probably say. And not for Danny himself, but for the, you know, all the characters inside that, you know? It felt dark. Danny Phantom felt dark. It felt heavy. It felt serious. Also, you gotta love a secret identity. A secret identity, kids love that shit because you yourself as a kid, you feel like you're living a secret life because you're a kid and people treat you as such, but you feel like you have a mind of an older person. Even as a kid, most people feel like they're more mature than people treat them as. So that's why Danny Phantom, I think, really was cool. Great animation, great villains. It built fear, it built suspense, and it really, like, made you feel stuff. The reason I'm putting Fairly OddParents next is because it's funny, bro. Oh my god, that Rock, the character the Rock plays with the rules, the whole book. Puff is basically a non-binary baby. I mean, the baby that Wanda, a lesbian, and Cosmo, a gay guy, have, they give birth to a non-binary baby. I mean, that's just beautiful. If you're watching this show now, you realize, okay, Wanda is like really some like, not even a lesbian, just some like ditzy, she's like, I don't know how to explain Wanda. She's like a housewife who loves her husband, but also goes to clubs and kisses ladies. And Cosmo is just this gay, sassy guy, and he's dumb. People think he's dumb, but he's really a genius. And then Puff, well, the show kind of fell off once they had Puff, to be honest. It was better before that. But the reason Fairly OddParents was so good, because it really connected to you. Because the purpose of the show was, here's the most miserable kid in the world, and we're going to give him, you know, these make-a-wish things. And even if you have a great life as a kid, you still feel sad, and you feel still anxious, and you feel you can't get the girl sometimes. So it's a relatable premise about, we're going to give you're the most miserable kid in the world, and here's your lifesaver. And talk about the babysitter, bro. The babysitter in Fairly OddParents, Candace, bro. There's something about like this, you know, a high school girl being mean to you, which just really does it for you. That goes back to, I'm not going to say Megan because she was like a younger kid, so it wasn't like a sexual thing, but like, oh, fucking Candace. Is it Candace? The babysitter in Fairly OddParents, how she hated him so much that she hated him. And it felt like, oh, ugh, you know? And then there were so many good episodes. Doug Dimmadome with the hat and the whole Dimmadome Town Square. I mean, just everything was so funny. Fairly OddParents. And he's just, you know, and like there's one episode where he wishes to be the funniest guy in school. And then he realizes the downside that comes with it. So it teaches you about fucking misery. It teaches you about your parents aren't going to help you. The babysitter's against you. And then you finally get these things and you make a wish and it's still not good. Because then you're the funniest guy in school and nobody takes you seriously. And you realize the responsibility that comes with it. I mean, what a great show. Okay. Now, I think we only have one show left. Oh, no, 2 shows left. Okay. Now, my friends might be upset at me for this ranking. We have 2 shows left. Number 2 Nickelodeon show of all time, SpongeBob SquarePants. I mean, just talk about, it has everything, man. It has the 7 deadly sins as people, see it as. It has just never being good enough plankton, that misery plankton has, and his desire to steal a Krabby Patty formula. As much as he tries and he tries, he always comes up short. And who's he losing to? He's losing to SpongeBob SquarePants, a doofus, because it shows that if you just have a good heart and you do the right thing, evil will never prevail. And even SpongeBob and Patrick, the 2 stupidest guys in the world, because they have a genuine heart and they're nice and they're doing the right thing and they're following God's path. Even Plankton, the evil genius, and his AI wife, again, ahead of the times, they still can't steal a Krabby Patty formula. And they're losing to Mr. Krabs. Mr. Krabs, the embodiment of greed. You know what I mean? Just pure greed. He would sell SpongeBob for $1. Mr. Krabs would sell the United States of America for 40 acres and a mule. But still, and then you just watch SpongeBob go through these ups and downs. And, part about SpongeBob, he's a very emotional guy. So even though he might be a little doofus, he still feels the pain of a genius. SpongeBob is like a cursed savant in a way, where everyone thinks he's a dumb little guy, but he knows what's going on, and he knows how to talk to Squidward, and he's friends with Patrick. And Patrick Star, he lives under a rock. Do you realize the metaphor they're doing? He lives under a rock, yet he lives a great life. He lives a great life, because sometimes ignorance is bliss. And all he does, and he lives under a rock with a fat ass. If that's not a beautiful metaphor for life, I don't know what is. If you living under a rock with a fat ass isn't what you want in a life, then you gotta find, I can't really help you. I really can't help you. And as SpongeBob, every day he goes and he slaves away, and he makes the Krabby Patties, and he's flipping the Krabby, and all he's doing is mastering his craft. He's not getting paid right. His coworker's an asshole. His best friend's an idiot. He has a rival at the chum bucket who would probably treat him better and give him a better life. But no, he wants to go in every day and he wants to master his craft. Okay, now I could talk about SpongeBob for years, but I want to give the appropriate amount of time to really the best show of all time, Avatar: The Last Airbender. 3 seasons of perfection. Just pure perfection. You know what I mean? You have Sokka, the comic relief, Katara, the little girl, and Aang, again, a non-binary character who really is just, he's annoying at times, but he has a good heart and he means it. The ups and downs. Fire Lord Ozark. I was rewatching the reboot recently. They made a live-action reboot, and while it looks beautiful, it doesn't hit the same, Just doesn't hit the same as when you're a kid. That had story. The complex story, and it's, what's good about The Last Airbender? It respected its audience to a really high degree. They respected its audience so much where they could do these plot lines and they could have these characters and these stories from season to season. And even though they knew a lot of kids were watching them, it knew that you would get it because it broke these complex ideas like yin and yang, like love, like destiny, like friendship, and they broke them down, and like having power that corrupts you. It broke it down in such simple ways, in such digestible ways that even the stupidest people in the world could understand it and digest it. And also, it was a cartoon, so I don't think anybody really got touched on the set because I feel like it doesn't really happen. What are you gonna molest an animator? No, what are you doing? You don't want to touch a stupid animator. You want to touch a hot new kid who's the new thing in town, who's a singing career ahead. You know what I mean? So. Yeah, those are my thoughts. I didn't really go in depth as I may have could have, but I just wanted to give you a sneak peek and show some appreciation to Nickelodeon. Really, round of applause for Nickelodeon. I know you guys did some really bad things, and I know that, it's really rough right now for you guys, but I really want to thank all the hardworking executives, hardworking, if you know what I mean, for making my childhood better, inspiring me a lot, and making me laugh along the way. So I know you guys did a lot of bad things, but if we don't appreciate the Nickelodeon shows as you're meant to be appreciated, it's like the pedophiles won. It's like they got away for nothing. So if you really feel bad for what happened, go again. Rewatch these shows. Yes, you might be giving a little money to Dan Schneider, and he might do bad things with that money, but hey, at the end of the day, you got to realize thank you so much for watching. Have a good day.